Good afternoon. It is a crazy busy week this week, and it so happens that it's also, at the moment, the hottest day of the year. So we are technically in the loft space, so it's very hot in here, but this evening we're going to be heading to the NTA'S, which is the National Television Awards. We're going to be doing the red carpet, and I haven't got an outfit confirmed, so we're still working on that. I'll make sure that we take a look at my look before I head down to London with Lydia. One thing I do want to do is I want to try and give these Derby shoes a quick polish and try and see if we can get a mirror shine on the toe. After last week's session at Joseph Cheney & Son, it'd be lovely if we can get a little bit of a mirror shine coming on. So I'm going to give myself about 20 minutes to try to achieve that, and if I fail miserably, then nothing gained, nothing lost. They'll still look awesome. So we're going to do that. Also, I've just had my fedora arrive from Thomas Farthing. This week we are also going to be heading to Beaverbrook with Aston Martin ahead of Goodwood Revival. Goodwood Revival is a 1940s to 1960s inspired car event. It's going to be absolutely magical, and the hat's arrived. So I think we discussed this in one of my previous videos where we were taking a look at them, and the hat's not in there. Where is it? Where did I put it? There it is. And this is the hat that I decided to go with. Unfortunately, they don't actually have, or didn't have, and still don't have, my size. So this is a Euro 55. I was a Euro 56, but I really wanted this hat, and as you can see, it's got a really nice muddy green kind of look to it. They very kindly put this in store on a hat stretcher for me. So they've stretched this out. They've also helped create a bit of structure and shape because these are completely pliable when they come. I said to them, I'd love it if you could help iron in the shape for me, and so it kind of holds itself a little bit better. And he's actually done a beautiful job. He's even slightly flared up the rear of the hat as well. So this now fits me wonderfully, and this is what I'm going to be wearing to Goodwood Revival. It's going to be almost 30 degrees on the day. I think we're due a little bit of cloud, so that could save our bacon, but it's going to be very, very hot, and I'm still undecided on the outfit I'm going to wear. It would be awesome if I could wear one of my linen suits, but I really kind of want to wear braces, and I've only got 2 pairs of trousers that can facilitate braces, and so at the moment I'm deciding between a really thick wool suit, which could be pretty intense on the day, or an alternative look. I've got some really lovely light Brioni trousers that I'm having the buttons put in for the braces, which I could wear with a shirt. And so a slightly lighter, more comfortable look. It won't be quite as impactful as a suit, but we shall see. Either way, the hat from Thomas Farthing is going to be coming with us. But for now, we're going to get busy giving these, or trying to give these, a shine. So this is the current state of the shoe. You can see they're pretty good nick. I like to leave them in good condition. We'll get started. So I picked up this leather mat just for a little bit of protection whilst we're working up here. Joseph Cheney & Son very kindly let me keep the apron that we were using to polish. I'll be wearing that just to save the top. And of course we have our polishing kit here and here, which you can see I've got all of the stuff that we'll need today in these 2 boxes. So, horsehair brush. We are going to want shoe trees. Pinch them out of here. Shoe trees. And I want some water, so that's that ready to go. So this product right here is the mirror gloss. So we're going to use this today, which will be simulating the polish essentially. It's just going to help us give, hopefully, a easier shine than using a direct polish. So as you can see, brand new, out of tin, smells amazing. We're going to be needing one of those, and then a cloth. Now, I do have the Sophia cloths right here, which I do use, but I think I'm going to be using my cut up t-shirt for today's task. So rather than using that one, I'm going to grab a brand new one out, tee us up as best as possible. So this is just an old cut up t-shirt which had lost its shape in the wash. So I'm going to take the laces out, apron on. So because these shoes are actually already cleaned and they've had all their treatments, we can just go straight into the shine, which is fantastic. Another reason to leave your shoes in good condition, because it means that you can get straight onto tasks like this. Stick my phone on charge. A little bit of polish. I'm just going to work that into the toe. I have to say this is much better than I was doing in the store. Really happy with how this is starting to look. Actually starting to get a shine, which is amazing. I'm being a lot more finesse than I was when I was in the store. Slightly slowed down my hand movement and probably put half amount of pressure on and just letting the water and the wax do the work. I think I was getting a bit excited when we were in Genie. Okay, so there's a very subtle difference. This is the shoe that's had the polish on it, and this one hasn't yet. So as you can see, already in great nick, and this has just got a slightly higher shine on the toe. You can get some light on that. So I'd like to get a little bit better, but we are very tight on time today, so that will do us. But you can see it's definitely taken a mirror shine, just an amateur mirror shine, I'd say. Very subtle one, but it just looks slightly more reflective on the toe, certainly in person, than this shoe here, which is just slightly duller. So it's very, very subtle, but I like these subtle differences. Well, there you have it. That is the mirror shine complete. As you can see, there is a noticeable difference between the toe and the body. So there has been some progress made. It is by no means a professional job. I know that you can literally see yourself in the reflection when the pros do it, but it's a great step in the right direction, and I've actually managed to pull a noticeable shine out of the shoe, which is all we can ask for in the time that I had dedicated to have a go. And practice makes perfect, so they say, and so we'll keep on working at the mirror shine. And I've got a couple of pairs of shoes now that I can do it with. So yeah, I'm gonna jump in the shower because we have an hour until we're getting picked up. Well, as you can probably hear, I have a fan on in the room. I'm just about to film a get ready with me style video, and I'll do a little bit of filming whilst we're at the awards this evening. Stitch that together and hopefully that can go out tomorrow. But we have our invitation right here. Inside we have our red carpet ticket and also our entrance into the O2. So that's all ready to go. I'm going to get busy filming, but just before I do, this evening I'm going to be wearing my Tom Sweeney suit. I have this shirt from Charles Tyrwhitt, and I'm going to see if we can do something with this. Maybe just create a tie with it, tuck it in. Instead of wearing a tie, it will just make me feel a little bit more comfortable. And then I have a new pair of socks in from Turnbull and Asser, and I'm going to be wearing the Green Face Rolex Datejust, and this evening's fragrance is Green Irish Tweed by Creed. So that's pretty much everything, and of course you know about the shoes already. So I'm going to film the video and I'll quickly show you the look when it's finished. Hopefully we can get my full look in. So I'm dressed, ready to head down to London with Lydia, and that is my look complete. It's a little bit different to my normal red carpet attire, but I wanted to mix it up a little bit, and I think we're going to pull it off. So I'm going to hit the road, and if you want to see what we got up to at the NTA'S, then make sure you check out Lydia's video, because I'm not going to be documenting it in this one. Well, it's been a moment since we did some bee content over here on the channel, and today we're actually going to be removing the super from one of the colonies, which won't actually have any honey in it. We split the colony earlier on in the year. We did an artificial swarm. Some of you may remember, some of you may not. And during that process, the bees then begin focusing on building up the colony strength as opposed to storing honey, apparently. And so we're going to be removing that today. There's no honey in it as far as I'm aware, unless we get a nice little surprise today. And then I'm going to be putting their Apiguard on, which is a varroa mite treatment. I have covered varroa mite on here many times. It's essentially a little red mite that lives on the thorax on the back of the bee's head and just slowly drains the life out of the bees, I guess is one way of putting it. And so before the count of that varroa mite gets too heavy, as beekeepers we treat for that ahead of winter to ensure that the colony can survive overwintering, because that would only make their life a hell of a lot harder. We're going to be doing this treatment today. It's a 4-week treatment. We do 2 treatments, so one for 2 weeks and we do a second one for another 2 weeks, and that will complete their varroa treatment. I then might give them a little bit of Ambrosio, which is a bit of feed. I'll see how their colony's looking. I need to count up to see how many frames of stores they've got, what kind of brood they have at the moment, etc. We have a very late summer, and so this year has been very different to last year's summer, or the year before's summer. When I was looking at my paperwork earlier today, I'd noticed that I wrote snow due or storm or something. So it was obviously very different then than it was now at this time of the year, which you expect, but it feels like this year we are quite delayed. And so the bees are still getting out. They still seem to be very active out the front of the hive itself. I had a look the other day because I like to go up there and just check to see there's no wasps, to make sure they're not suffering from robbing, and if they are, then I can put a reducer on, but at the moment they seem to be absolutely fine. So anyway, I'm going to get my smoker loaded up, and we're going to go and do the first of 2 treatments on both of the colonies. The first thing we'll be doing is checking for varroa in the trays. We'll do the treatments, and then we'll sort of assess it, just to give them the best possible chance of surviving over winter. So let's get busy. So as you can see, or you may be able to see, we have some varroa just on the trays. It's about what we'd expect to see in terms of numbers, is for this size colony, that is. There's per column, I'd say there's about 6 varroa mites. So there's one right there where the light's most intense. There's another one there. I saw one up here, just here on the left, and then just down here on the right side. So we know that we have varroa naturally inside the colony. The colony size isn't that big. So I'm going to get this tray cleaned up, and so we've got a nice fresh sheet to work through, because one thing that we're going to want to do during this process is monitor, because what we're going to expect to see on my next visit for the next course of Apiguard is an increased number of mite on the tray, because of course they're going to be dying off, and so that should be what we hope to see, and then we'll get rid of all of that, and then going into Christmas time I'll be able to come out and check this without interrupting the actual bees themselves, because we can access this without opening up the hive, and we'll just monitor it and see how they're going. But I think we're going to be in good stead. The physical size of this colony has probably, looking at the caps that they've been chewing, I'd say has doubled in size, which is fantastic. So there's still going to be space in this colony. It will be coming into spring probably in quite good condition, and there is a chance that they may expand to full capacity, but I think there'll be enough bees to keep them overwintered, and I also think that they're going to be in good condition next year for honey. So yeah, a successful split so far. Just before I open up the colony, I thought I'd quickly show you. This is the APGARD treatment that we're going to be using today. I'm just going to peel this back, and you'll see inside. I'll probably fold it halfway over like this. The treatment, it's like a sugary looking kind of treatment that's been mixed in with some water, and they will essentially clean this out hopefully over the next couple of weeks. So we have some really good honey storage on this particular frame, which is promising because they'll be needing that over the winter. Okay, so we finished off inspecting this colony. They've got around about 4 frames of honey, which is incredible considering they're only using 7 frames in total. And the outer frames that haven't got honey in, they're just drawing the comb out on. There is a few capped cells, but I didn't actually see any eggs or larvae in this particular colony, which the queen naturally slows down as you come into the winter months and even stops, but I feel like I would have liked to have seen some at this stage of the year. We're still in September, you'd expect to see some eggs. So I'm going to have to keep an eye on this colony. I'm going to have another look. I've spent some time looking for the queen. I went through the frames twice, I didn't see her, and so when I come back next week and do a quick inspection, I'll just be completely homing in on trying to find her, and also looking to see if we do have any eggs or larvae in this particular colony. If I see the queen, I'll be quite relaxed because she'll just be doing her thing, but if we do get some eggs and larvae, that'll confirm she's in there, and that'll equally keep me happy. But anyway, we're going to apply the APGARD, which is the Varroa treatment. We're just going to stick this on top of the frames around the sort of center of the cluster. We just slowly push that in. I'm going to take the queen excluder out, that's not needed, and we're going to add a little bit of kit here. This is called an eek. This essentially just gives a bit of space above where this treatment is, so crown board doesn't squash it and they can actually access the treatment. So we'll just stick that on here, stick our crown board on, and of course our roof. So that is our first colony complete. I'm now going to repeat the same process on this colony next to us and remove the super as I mentioned. And then we'll be visiting them again in a couple of weeks to repeat the process if needed. We'll assess it, see if they've taken it down, and also see how the Varroa count's looking. And that'll be a good job done. So we're getting them prepped up, ready for winter, and then as I mentioned, we'll give them a feed throughout winter to make sure that they've got plenty of stores and food. And then hopefully we'll start the process again in the new year. Before I get packed up ready to head to Goodwood this afternoon, I thought I'm going to take on one more task here in the garden, and I'm a little bit nervous about this one because I know from reading up online that I'm a little bit late in the season to be doing this. You don't really want to be pruning your red robins kind of after August. We're currently in the first week of September and I'm thinking of giving it a little bit of a trim up, and the reason why is because particularly on this back edge it's really starting to push out and grow over the path, which is making it slightly difficult to get out of the cars. We're having a slightly hotter year, or should I say a slightly hotter August, September. I think we had the hottest August we've had for many years, and so far September's looking great, and so I am kind of playing with fire a little bit. I'm risking it a little bit by trimming them back because the new growth will potentially become vulnerable to frost, but I'm kind of hopeful that we're going to get away with it this year. There's good irrigation on this. It's a very established red robin. It grows really well, to be fair, and I'm only going to be giving it a light trim, which doesn't negate the fact that there will be new growth because of that, but it just means that functionally this little area on our drive should work a lot better. So if you look down the line, you'll see that the hedge is really starting to grow out, and we want to kind of keep that push back as much as possible. It's amazing, when we first moved in there was no overgrowth and we try and stay on top of it as much as we can, but it just kind of leans forward because that's the way the sun is. I'm going to keep on trying to push it back, but we've managed to create a nice hedge line with it. We've now got it all nice and high and nice and uniformed. We've grown this section out of the front because it used to jut in, so we've sorted that out. So it's a decent hedge. It's probably about 8 foot, no, maybe 10 foot. It's probably about 10 foot high, so it's a decent size. So we're going to whip through this, just give it a quick brush over, and then I'm going to get myself showered, ready to head off. As you can see, it's looking a little tidier. I've started to sweep up the floor with the leaf blower, but I'm running out of time. So this little job is going to have to be continued another day, but at least we managed to tackle at least some of it. And it's not perfect because I still need to get on that trimmer and just finish off shaping it up nicely, but the general gist of it is done. At least now I've done that as early as convenience. What I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly stick a 30-minute boost on the irrigation just to give this a little bit of water because it has just been cut and it's really hot, so we'll get some water into the soil. May help it, I would have thought. So that is that complete. In next week's vlog we're most likely going to be going to Goodwood Revival. It should be a fantastic event. I'm very excited. It's going to be my first time attending, so I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great rest of the week. Take care.